Here we go. Thank you, you crazy hunt. All right, welcome to Black Lions Airspace, my multi-dimensional flotastic zone where I shine the brightest. Today, I have a very special guest, and with her, I feel safe. I feel warm. I feel loved. I feel protected. And there is a quote that I shockingly found in a book that it feels appropriate to start off the show with. All right, so I've learned this at least by my experiment that if one advances confidently in the direction of their dream, endeavoring to live the life they are imagining, one passes an invisible boundary. All sorts of things begin to occur that never otherwise would have occurred. One begins to meet with a success unexpected in common hours. All right. New, more universal, more liberal laws begin to establish themselves around this person, or the old laws are rearranged in one's favor. Nevertheless, one begins to live with a license of higher order of things.
That's a
She,
really beautiful quote.
yeah, by Waldo Emerson. All right, so she's my friend, my co-author, my publisher in Ascension II. When we're together, it feels right to me. She is, I've tried to deny this to some degrees or another, but I cannot deny it. It's been showing me signs. The universe has been showing me signs. Kids out there, I've referred to something called Zachary Shiloh's Honeykins. Say hello to the strongest incarnation to it. I am very proud to say that she's my Polish love. I am also proud to say that I'm returning to DarkQuarks Publishing for what they are pronouncing as rebel romance. And this is my subject. This is my chapter. With that said, I am proud, very happy to announce and introduce Sandra Stachowicz, my Polish love, my dear friend, the person that really has met everything that I look for in a woman and more. So with that said, welcome, Sandy.
Thanks so much for such a warm welcome. I feel very held by you.
Well, it's been a long time in the making, Sandy. I haven't done this for other women, and I believe they can testify to this. Kids out there, look at Zachary Shadow right now. I am actually wearing a blazer for this beautiful woman here. I haven't done anything like this since one Blair Hayes showed up for me last year. I did that to try to impress her to some degrees or another. And what I got out of it was unexpectedly a mentor, a friend, somebody that published the original Black Lions Roar. And now that same thing is becoming a coaching system. I don't know completely how it's being shaped up, but it's coming along. And for Sand, Polish, my Polish, I thought I'd do something different for her. I really wanted to make her laugh. I wanted to be serious around it. What do we say that we are around each other? Sand? Goofy, alternative, serious.
That's the way. Yeah, that's what I love language. Yeah, I very much appreciate that you've put the blazer on for me. I feel so
And I appreciate that you're looking very beautiful today. On more ways than one for me. I'm
okay.
blushing. I will not stop smiling. I will not stop blushing around you, honeykins. I will not stop smiling around you. I've been thinking about you, Sam, for the longest while. And you said these words to me. Never say never regarding you and I. And I kept on asking the universe. I said something along the lines of this. If she is practically my honey kids, please give me signs. And almost every single where I went, there was strong synchronicities, like triple numbers, quadruple numbers. Matter of fact, I believe 5 airplanes actually flew past Amazon exactly in an upward direction. And yesterday, as I was traveling, I thought about you, and then all of a sudden, I saw the words or a word that says "gotcha." I said, "Excuse me." I was in awe. I seriously was. So I've been reading your lovely series before you joined our dear friend Jan Brent, and your books are very powerful. And I said this to you yesterday or the day before. I said something along the lines of this. Your words are powerful. Your books have meaning. Don't let anybody tell you that they don't touch people. They've been touching me, and I've been leaping afraid for years, but now it feels more right, Polish love, that with you, I'm leaping afraid, but stronger, more bolder, more confident. And I loved your story, how you left your native Poland when you were 19 and how you transitioned to Scotland where you reside and have resided for years. I love the fact that you didn't let your fears keep you held down in Poland and how you got through many years being in Scotland and you traveling around this beautiful world that we live in. And the more that I read the book, the more I kind of grew this crush on you, to be honest. And I remember Rebel Romance coming around. I remember Jan telling me about it. And then all of a sudden, I'm saying to myself, wow, that's pretty cool beans. I didn't think I was going to be in it at all. And then as I'm talking to Jan, you came to mind. And I'm like, why's she coming?
Yeah, I feel it's really interesting that you mentioned that because I didn't think see me and Janet are business partners. And when Janet first decided to run with the project Rebel Romance, I didn't think I was going to be in it. But that's as is always with all things of substance. Or sometimes, sometimes the first time we see something, we don't always see the resonance. And in fact, the first time Jenna extended the offer, Sandra, do you want to run this project together as well? And like my first initial reaction was, hell no.
That sounds
Yeah, so
exactly like you. That sounds exactly like you.
yeah, just that's exactly how it happens. As it, I'm and obviously over time, I very quickly realized that in fact, rebel romance is is what I needed to do after someone messaged me um, to basically say like share some experiences, not experiences that she said a woman with one of her dear friends, And that really made me realize that it made me came alive. I felt really creatively aroused. And just that made me realize like this project is not even, it's not a nice to have frivolity or some luxury or something, it's a necessity. And that's
Oh
really made
yes.
me realize that Rebel Romance is going to be like unlike anything we've ever created. So the
Oh
complete
no,
time
it's not.
turn around like Janet, I'm in. And it's like selling like hotcakes.
Oh man, when I heard about it from Jen originally, I thought she was actually putting out like a collection of her own erotic tales. And I remember saying something to Jen like, Jen, is this an offer to read your erotic tales? And she said, oh, it's a book I'm working on. I said, oh, okay, I understand, Jen. But I seriously didn't think I would have anything to offer in that realm.
I didn't think either. I didn't think either, but the more I kind of like I grew into that project.
Yeah, me
And
too.
I listen, I'm so fired up by our own creation that I can't even imagine like not participating now running the project in the first place. But sometimes the things that we do that kind of grow on us, or the people
Yeah.
we surround ourselves with, they grow on us. Some of us like leaping afraid into the unknown, and I also knew that on some level, on spiritual level, on a soul level, this is something that my soul really needed and craved. I kind of like crave that pleasure factor, that enjoyment and creativity, like to do finally do something like for once that's not business related, something that's really fun, that's very light and playful. It's almost like at least that inner seductress that's in all of us, not just women.
And when I heard about Rebel Romance, I really was taken away. I have been used to just reading the Ascension stuff. I was used to talking to you and Jan about business related stuff, somewhat spiritual stuff. Excuse me. And then all of a sudden, as you and I got a little bit closer, I'm like, uh-oh, uh-oh, something's going on here. And then I started seeing visions. I started asking myself, whoa, what would it be to be like with a Polish love? Would it be like to be around Sandy? How would you feel about it? Like how if she was truly your honeykins, how would you feel? And then I could hear you in my head saying, here you are, we're this close. Tell me how you feel about it. Tell the world how you feel about it. Don't hold back. I said, okay, hon, here we go. And then I started just writing it. Like, okay, here it is, to some degrees. I'll give a brief excerpt. All right, so you and I, we've known each other for some time now. And as the international borders open up, I see myself having some money aside and saying, you know what, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of America. I need to go see Polish love. And you kind of give me an invitation to get out to Scotland to see. And it takes me whatever amount of time to get from New York to there. And I'm walking around. And the first thing I do is just take it in that I've left America. I've left America.
Yeah.
I'm not in Florida. I'm not in Texas. I'm not in any other state that's not New York or New Jersey or even Pennsylvania. I am legit out of America.
Have you ever actually been abroad?
Nah, I've never left America, hun, not once. I put this out there and I'm not ashamed to say it. I've never left the tri-state area. I've never left. I've never left. I had one opportunity, but I didn't do it 7 years ago. This month is exactly 7 years. I had the opportunity to go, but The woman that would go on to be my second fiance, I let her go by herself because I didn't have a job soon. And I could hear maybe the most important person that I wanted to be like when I was little, who's upstairs right now, watching our dear friends in the media talk about the coronavirus and everything else, say these words. You need an income. You need an income. So I said, Earl, I need to go find me a job. I need something. I don't want to be a hindrance to your travels. You deserve to get out of there and have fun. You really talk about Florida as if you want to live there. Go live your dream. I'll be fine. So me and her, we talked every day, but I kept pushing forward for a job. And I wound up getting one. I didn't like it quite so much. I wound up being a flyer hander or whatever you want to call it. And it didn't even last me a complete quarter of a year, but it did pave way for practically the longest job that I ever had. And I don't regret it in that sense, but given the state of the world that we've lived in the last 18 months, sometimes I will look myself in the eye and I will say these words. Shit, I should have gone to Florida with Thor. I should have gone, but no,
I
that's
believe
where,
that. I believe some things don't happen for a reason. So there's a reason for, some relationships falling through, deals,
mm,
jobs falling through, businesses falling through. I believe that there's,
yeah,
yeah, that's just a sign that it wasn't for us.
yeah,
So I also believe that loving someone and also showing them love to the extent of also being willing to let them go, loving it so much, and also to the extent of being willing to let them go. I feel that's the greatest level of love one can experience.
yeah. I had to let her go, Sam, because she was so hyped for it. And I really didn't want to bring this, I gotta find work, I gotta find work, I gotta find work madness to her. So I said, all right, go, go. But she contacted me almost every single day anyway. And I was happy as a kid could be. Then time passed and we got closer, but then unknowingly I contracted diabetes. My life became the absolute hell. And I really felt like you when you actually had your world feel like it was coming to an end, losing the one you loved the most, feeling as if you could not control your body in any form or fashion, feeling as if you are about to die with every single breath you take. And there came a point in 2019 where I said, you know what, I've had about enough of this. I need to change. I need to change. And Arl was right. I needed to change at that point because I did let myself go more ways than one. And when I look back at it, I contracted the diabetes. I gotta believe in 2012. I gotta believe it because as time went by from eating stuff I shouldn't have been eating, I should have learned from a certain somebody. I should have learned from a certain somebody who was diabetic, but I didn't. But they say everything happens for a reason, right, Polish? So I actually did learn from that person and eventually clean myself up. So what you see, kids, with me is what I should have been all along. I should have been healthy. I should have been smart. I should have been everything that I'm getting now. But it feels right. It feels right now. I wasn't ready back then.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes we learn all those lessons retrospectively, because I also feel that any form of illness is actually a scream. It was like a wake up call for us to
Yeah,
really take care of our body. Like our body is our temple, and it didn't
yeah,
actually happened until I actually lost my health when I was on my deathbed, bedridden. Like with I couldn't even leave the house to get groceries. I could barely stand on my feet. And that's when I actually realized, well, actually, I've really neglected my body. I've really let myself go. And it's only now that I already have a lot of gratitude and appreciation for my body that I do have. All its
Uh-huh.
flaws and imperfections. So sometimes I see it more as a lesson, because sometimes it's actually even irritation. Irritation, interesting enough, I recently just read up that irritation can actually show up as urinary tract infection.
Oh, Jesus.
Because like when we're
Sin.
completely out of touch with our feelings and emotions, then our body internalizes our emotions, and that can actually show up in different ways. So that we are so irritated, when you have a UTI, I don't know if you've ever had don't know
That's
that
what
we
happened to me.
but that can actually help us get in touch back into with our emotions, because then you can no longer ignore it. Like if we like back then when I contracted the incurable virus, I had to literally, I sat up and I had to start paying attention. And also,
Uh-huh.
yeah, so there's actually very like spiritual component to any form of illnesses. It also depends on what type of illness and what part of body that you have that corresponds with different feelings and emotions, which is a very
Right
interesting
on.
concept.
Oh, I love that cute little laugh at you. Yes, I do. And I love the way that you're just blushing. It makes me feel even more
Well, I
flustered.
can adjust my lighting.
Oh, no, 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 hon. It's not your lighting. You're trying to be bashful for the listeners out there, the kids out there, and everybody in our writing families. Yes, yes. I see you saying. Okay. As I read your book, I felt more light around you. I felt like, yeah, she's really fitting the mold of woman that I've been looking for. I've kept away from myself for nearly 2 years. And I'm saying she's bold, she's courageous, she tells it how it is. I loved every single moment. You were telling it
I
how it
most
is.
certainly do, yeah.
Yeah, you were like, you know what? Fuck it. Go leap afraid. Go
Yeah.
leap afraid. Be scared. And I was like, Sam. And yes, kids, if you're listening to this, Zachary Shiloh is actually getting turned on. So mommies and daddies, mommies and daddies, please don't feel threatened or afraid. But if you're thinking right now that we're about to enter territories that you do not feel your kids are welcome for, you got 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You got 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm sorry, mommies and daddies. From this point forward, you may feel uncomfortable. I'm not. I'm stepping into my power. I'm sorry in advance. Maybe your kids can come back, maybe they can't. But the bottom line is, I'm talking to the Polish love how I'm supposed to be talking to the Polish love, period. And she's smiling in approval. Like, there he is. He's not taking shit from anybody. I said, yes, love, yes, yes, love, yes, I am. Because you actually taught me or reminded me, excuse me, I've had this in me all along. I've had this in me all along. You just brought it out in wildfire, hun. Let me tell you right now, my dear book strategist, uh, what I say? Oh, book strategist Kins. There we go. Book strategist Kins. Yes, yes. Okay, so love, I am in awe of you that you actually became a best-selling author like 5 times before you were 35. Like, wow. Um, love, I hope this is not going too far. How old are you now?
Um, 35. The last time
Whoa,
I
baby.
like I'm very hesitant 45. I actually had to check in with myself. I do tend to forget how old I am. I am 35, yes.
Oh, gosh. Oh, I'm in the flow state a little bit more now. I'm a little bit more flushed. Oh, wow. My Huntington's possibly can be 45 years old. Oh, wow. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Ah, that is awesome. So I'm practically 35. I'm not seeing myself as 34 anymore. I'm 35 in January. I'm getting myself into that state of flow. I am 35. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh man. You're 30, you're 45, and you got like you must have about
30,
eight.
45, not 45. Did I say 45?
You said you're 35 now?
35, yes. 35, not 45.
What? We're the same age?
I believe
Wow.
so. I believe so, yes.
Wow. Gulp. Wow. If you're 35, I'm tongue tied. Sad. I'm tongue tied right now. No way. You don't look like you're 35, hun.
I
You
don't.
look like you look like you're 20.
Yeah, it must be the lighting.
No, no, you're being bashful again. You're being bashful again. I think it's how you've been taking care of yourself. And people say that I look like I'm in my 20s, or depending on the situation. I think because I wear a certain hat that makes me famous, people think that I'm in my 50s. They really mistaken me for somebody else at work. They're like, dude, how old are you? I said, I'm 34. No way, show us your ID. And I said, all right, here's my ID. And they said, oh shit, really? You are 34? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm not lying. This is my actual state ID. That's my actual age. I'm
Well, I'll
34.
tell you. Tell you a funny story because actually, uh, fairly recently, my baby sister was visiting. She's 8 years younger than me, and we went out to buy alcohol. It was before my 32nd birthday. And we were at the checkout in the grocery store, and I realized, oh, I'd forgotten my ID. And I still tried to purchase alcohol, but they wouldn't sell it to me. And I said, but celebrating 32nd birthday. And I handed the bottle of wine to my sister, who's 8 years younger than me. And they never asked her for her ID. I was like, yes, we are
Oh,
winning today. Yeah.
oh wow. I don't care what your age is. You could be 35, you could be 45. I don't care.
We are
You
however old we feel. Age is just a number.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, I don't give a shit how old you are. You look great to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful honeykins, you. All right. Uh, what what else have I noticed? Oh, your book, The Leaping and Afraid. Let's keep going with that. Um, I noticed that your chapters, they really do reflect a certain principles. So I'm reading it and I said, why does this look familiar? And lo and behold, I'm remembering that I took this course by Bob Proctor last year, that he was talking about these 13 principles of Napoleon Hill, who he studied many, many times. And I'm hearing that every single time that he actually does a lecture, he takes something away from the Think and Grow Rich book and just runs along with it.
Oh
So I'm
yes, he
reading.
does carry this little book in his pocket that's really worn out. All these like the
Yeah,
book is basically falling apart. I believe he's read it over 100 times, which I find very
yeah.
endearing.
So I'm reading this and I'm saying, oh my God, she's an actual student of Napoleon Hill. She's an actual student of Bob Proctor. And as I'm
I was
reading,
really surprised when you're able to pick up on that because I wasn't trying, I wasn't trying to replicate the 13 principles. I also believe that if this is something that you live and breathe, you can still inadvertently, talk about similar concepts and ideas of seeing we put your own spin on it. So it's really, and yeah, I found it really curious, interesting that you're able to pick up on that because that wasn't even my intention at all.
I know it wasn't, but I literally read the actual chapter titles, and it's like fear, uh, failure, uh, and so many others. I'm like, okay, why does this feel familiar? Yeah, I'm going down and down and down. Oh shit, she really channeled Napoleon Hill. She really channeled Bob Proctor. And then as I'm reading the actual book, I'm seeing that you worked with certain people, or you even are just quoting them, and I'm saying, oh God, oh God, this feels like the Honeykins. This feels like me. This feels like what I would probably write. I would probably say to some degrees or another. And I kept on going along with it. And I'm saying to myself as I'm reading it, oh God, I think this may be the Honeykins. Like legit. Legit. This may be the
Yes, I
Honeykins.
was really impressed when you said, "Oh, like your book is based on the 13 principles of the Think and Grow Rich." I've lost count how many times I've read that book, probably 7 or 8 times at least. It's like the book was like highlighted through. I was like, okay.
Yeah, you actually said to me that you read it must have been like 12 and then you were going for your 13th. So I said, oh, okay, love, go ahead and with
It
your
may have been 14. I've lost count, so I didn't
yeah,
count. Just kept reading and always read it in full.
yeah. So I was saying, go on with your petite 5'2" self. Go ahead, hon, I see you. I see you. You are kicking ass. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Oh man. Like, all right. That book I gotta believe is now number 11 on my list of 2021. I knew I had to read it. Something was telling me, all right, before she gets on here, let's actually read the book. I don't have anything. I'm not really coming up with ideas for Theater Loves Roar or anything else. Let's go read some Polish Love. Let's hear from her. And then as I'm reading the book, I'm not ashamed to say this. I really was sitting alone at times, and I could imagine you and me sitting by a fire in the woods, and you're telling me this story, and you're kind of nuzzling my left shoulder, and you're telling me that, all right, this is what I've done of my life. This is what you can do of your own life, and this, that, and third. Kids out there, this book is not made for men. Let me tell you that right now. This
Yes and
book,
no. Yes and no. Like little disclaimer. Yes and no. It was intended for women, but it's not limited. There's
I
not
know.
specifically for women in there.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't really designed for men, but I decided to read it. Why not? Because I'm a reader, I'm a writer. I told her time and again, I don't really watch the television or telly. I really don't watch the telly quite so much. And she said, neither do I. And I said, oh man, oh man, oh man. And that's partially how it started. This thing of Zachary Shiloh's Honeykins being possibly manifested in her form. Oh man, oh man, oh man. And I can feel people right now, they're probably saying, dude, this is maybe your most warm that we've ever actually seen of you. You are so comfy with her. Why aren't you like this with other people? And kids out there. It's just
That's not, come on, it's not because of the kids. I like it is.
oh, oh thanks. I actually was okay with this whole entire me calling my audience kids. Uh we all are kids at heart. And I kept on saying, I said it to myself, where are all kids at work? All of my listeners are kind of kid-like in a sense that I know of.
They're all like a whole bunch of big kids walking around.
Yeah, we're all big kids with either broken parts or whatever's. And I'm saying, yeah, kids out there, kids out there. And it worked. Nobody's ever told me to shut up. So it really works. It really does work. So kids out there. Disclaimer. Leap Afraid was originally intended for women, but she's not discriminating towards men. Matter of fact, she was actually taken away when I was reading it. She said, "What? You're actually reading that?" I said, "Yes." And she actually almost, I think you must have been like, "Oh, oh, how sweet." I
Yeah,
said,
for those. It's just bad I did have a couple of men read it and actually enjoy it.
"Ah, yeah." Ah, man, oh man, oh man. How long did it actually take you to write that whole entire book, Love?
Back then, I was actually, interesting enough, working two full-time jobs. So I was working as a night manager and as another full-time job working for the competitor, which I
Oh
wasn't
wow.
allowed to do, but I did that anyway until I could. So I was writing my book in between my two full-time jobs while running
Oh,
my marketing and coaching business, because back then I decided to transition. So I decided to let go of my marketing business and I decided to transition into publishing. So there was a bit of a challenge because that was a different type of clientele that I had to attract. So that was a bit of a challenge in terms of managing my time. But in a sense, it was a blessing because I knew that the 1 hour I had between my day job and my night job, was the only time I could actually sit down and write. So there's really no, procrastination wasn't an issue because I knew, like, if I don't sit down and write within the 60-minute time slot, I'll never make progress with my book. And also knew that in order for me to get back to having the standard of living I was used to having, that I really needed to do something different. I needed to change.
yeah, that sounds like
That
me.
really kept me motivated. So actually took me about, the writing portion wasn't that difficult because obviously if you post on Facebook, social media regularly, you've practically written your book. If you've been in business for more than 2 minutes, your book, you carry your book in your heart. So in terms of, as far as it goes for writing, was actually the easy part. And then once I got to the closer to the publishing stage, I got a bit uh distracted. Was, having two full-time jobs. So I feel it was more of a procrastination rather than the fact. I mean, if I wanted, I could have launched earlier, but it took me about 8 months to get that book from the inception point, the book idea conception, to actually getting launching that book to Basser. It took me 8 months, which is still a very relatively period of time given that I worked two full-time jobs.
Oh yeah, I remember you mentioning that, and I said, "God bless this woman. Sheesh. Like, how she didn't actually land in the hospital or even die doing? I could not work anybody's two jobs like that. Oh God! But all hail the Polish love. All hail the Polish love.
Yeah, I had the strategy behind that because actually one of the jobs I had was, I basically work as a housekeeper for like an Airbnb company, and I figured, okay, so if I do a physical job half the time, then I can work an office job for the other half the time. So I wasn't actually tired. I was still getting my daily exercise, like running around, with a mop and dusting. So I didn't really feel tired in that sense. Um, and that was actually, so one of my jobs obviously was kind of like my time to recharge because I didn't have like two office desk jobs at the same time. I believe that would have been impossible for me to do.
Yeah.
So that was the logic behind it. A very strategic decision I made back then.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. I remember reading that book, and I'm saying to myself, she is phenomenal. She's phenomenal. She's actually doing this. She's writing this book. She's getting her stuff out, trying to do her businesses. She's seeing her sisters on and off. She's dealing with her mother. She's coping with her father's death. How can you not respect this, kids? How can you not respect the Polish love for actually going through what she's gone through? Oh man, oh man. And for me, it became even more right if with rebel romance. And you were telling your readers basically to be rebels, to take the opportunities they have and hold it tightly. Don't let it go. And I just flushed out a good portion of it. And believe it or not, my chapter, I'm almost halfway done with you. You
You
want
almost have done with me. That's
my
one way
chapter?
of putting it.
You're my
I
chapter, right?
promise I won't hold it against you.
You're my subject, right? So you said to me in private that our word count is now officially 5,000 words. So I'm almost at that point.
Yeah,
I'm almost at
that's the top. Yeah, the top maximum. If you
the
want
top.
to go over the top, you can.
Oh man, oh man. Oh yeah, I think I didn't actually try, finish off a smidge of what I'm actually envisioning. So all right, I can do that real quick. So all right, I've left America. I'm taking it all in, and I'm saying to myself, "Wow, I really done it. I've left America. I'm not in New York. I'm not really in my comfort zone. I'm somewhere else, and I don't know how airports are in Scotland. so so
Yeah,
I'm just
Edinburgh. You
walk,
arrive in Edinburgh airport, and what happens next?
yeah. So I'm walking around and I recognize the store when I see one. So there are flowers in this store, and I remember you love flowers.
I do. I usually have some flowers in the background, not today.
Yeah. So I see that you love flowers, and I said, yeah, let's get her some flowers. So somehow, some way, I think they accept American currency. I hope so. So I buy some for you, and then I'm walking around, and they guide me to an exit, and there's this beautiful woman wearing a gray hat, and she's dressed in a gray dress, and she has on this leopard-looking scarf over her dress, and she's wearing red boots. And I say to myself, there she is, my Polish love. And I'm not running to you. You're not running to me. We're too cool for that shit. That's what I actually wrote. We're too cool for that shit. So
I like it the way you put it.
yeah, we're too cool for that shit. So I'm walking towards you. You're walking towards me. It feels like we're walking, and then I drop my stuff and I hold you for a while, and I'm taking it in. Like I'm not talking to her online. This is actually happening. I'm holding her for a while, and I'm taking you in, and I'm saying, "This is absolutely right. This is absolutely right to me." And then I say, all right, Sam, we need to get out of here before we do something we probably regret." So we get out, and we just enjoy each other. We basically, at some point after a nice meal together, and you show me around what is it, your manor? I believe you have a mansion or something like that. Uh, I am channeling a conversation that we just had recently, where you actually told me you were going out to a bonfire or something like that.
Yeah.
You asked me, "Oh, would you like to go to a bonfire?" And I said, "Well, I would love that." So we're going to the bonfire, and we're just sitting in the woods, and fire is emblazing, and we're so comfy together, you and I. And I just put my left arm around you, and we kind of cuddle, and it feels even more romantic. And I'd say the words that a woman would love a heterosexual male to say to her: I love you. And you turn and look at me, and we're looking at each other. And I could feel the flow state. I think you could feel it. And we share a kiss. And you tell me how you feel. And I'm, ooh, 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 ooh. Kids, you're gonna have to get the book.
Yeah, exactly. Because the book still needs to be edited, censored. The censoring bit. We did the editing, but then no, we don't do the politically correct books. Disclaimer.
No, we don't. No, we don't. And that's what attracted me to Dark Quarks. Speaking of which, how did you actually get with our dear friend Jan? I know you kind of
Oh,
touched.
that's a really interesting, really cute story because back then, we actually accidentally decided to run because I knew like we kind of like connected before. We always felt that we had a really great connection. We actually ended up studying under the same mentor, so we kind of knew each other. We
They
knew
are
right
dense,
together.
correct?
We hanged out around the same space, and very quickly we actually realized accidentally that we had actually been planning to launch a multi-author book project under the same title. Believe it or not. So we were actually planning to launch a book titled Ascension, and I was like seeing signs left, right, and center that kind of asked Jenna. Well, Jenna, we are obviously the two of us are planning to launch a book under the same title. I knew she wasn't copying me. I wasn't copying her. It just so happened. That's why don't we combine the forces? Why don't we combine the forces? Because I was by that point I already knew that I wanted to outsource the marketing and publishing side of things and wanted to focus on the writing portion, on coaching.
Right.
For Janet, it was the opposite. She wanted to focus on marketing and publishing. There it is there. I was like, hell yes, like this is divinely inspired. We really need to, merge our businesses. So it's kind of happened very organically. We've been working together for almost a year now, and so far it's so good. So it's probably one of the best business decisions I've made, like in the last year.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Oh man, I remember my whole entire saga just becoming a published author. I tried to do it on my own, and I was going nowhere, to be honest. I picked up this book that said how to actually write a sellable book in 90 days. I only read like maybe the first few pages and I got inspired.
The same, yeah. I believe that all aspiring authors, and when we first start as writers, then we all kind of tend to follow the same process. Those exactly my path too. Just downloaded the little ebook for like free, 33, whatever the cost was. Like this is not helping. This is not helping. So I made some progress with my book. Maybe wrote like 20,000 words, and then very quickly realized that I needed something like a real person to help me navigate this because I still felt like I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh man, oh man. So I was reading that book. I only read like maybe the first full chapter, I think. I really don't remember. I know I took some smidges of it and I said, okay, I'll edit the then 17-page Black Lions Roar. I said, okay, I'm gonna edit this, and the third, and then I never picked up that book ever again. I never picked it up again. So I put off BLR for a while, and my dear friend Linda Carducci at the time, spiritual mommy, as I used to call her, she contacted me one day after a group meeting that we had, and she said, "Oh, I have this friend. I know how passionate you are about writing. I know how passionate you are about your podcast. Reach out to her. See if she'll actually come on. And I pinged this person, and this story, everybody kind of knows it. It's how I met Blair Hayes. I met Blair Hayes by way of Linda Carducci. So I'm actually talking to Blair, or trying to convince her to get on what you're on now. And I knew that she was a very busy person, like you can be. Uh, and I said something along the lines of this: I understand how busy you are and everything, but your presence would help me. And I don't know how it triggered her into getting into this thing with me, but I always say this: thank you, Blair, for actually taking a chance on me, because I understand that she really isn't the type to be on podcasts. She really isn't. She's even said that time again in trainings that I've actually attended. I'm not the type of person to do a podcast. It's either
A really interesting thing to say, isn't it?
she's bold. The Blarkins is no filter. With that one, oh God, let me tell you, she is maybe the most raw married woman I've ever heard in my life. She's like, nah, nah, I got too much to do. You've got to have something that's meaningful to me. And I think I had something meaningful to her. And I wanted Black Lions Roar out, but I kept on putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. And unbeknownst to me, this book that she was working on with her then coaches, Adam and Val, and I believe Crystal, uh, the happily gay couple, they actually were in Blair's ear, and they were saying, you got to include men. You got to include men now. And lo and behold, that is the book that eventually became They Are Magic. So I actually did put in my tuition, my first piece of tuition, and took Blair's offer that she gave me exactly on this show. I said it timed again after she appeared, and I even said it to her face last week. I said, you must have been pulling my leg. You must have been pulling my leg. I didn't take you seriously at all, at all. Because Blair has been known to actually be like you and empower women more so than men. So for this wonderful CEO, self-made woman to really become a unisex book now with the Magic series,
I
I
feel
was in.
it's a lot more empowering because what I've like one client's actually made me realize is that it's actually focusing on almost like women empowerment that can be extremely limiting in the scope and its scope that's it's limiting. It's not really inclusive. If we
Mhm.
want, I don't see myself as a feminist. Oftentimes people see me as a feminist because I'm a strong woman. Like I'm not going to make apologies for it, but I'm not a feminist per se in that
Oh
sense.
no, you.
But I
Oh,
believe that we need strong men. We need strong men because if you're a strong woman, you need a strong man. Otherwise, there's a lack of the push and pull. That's why I
mhm.
believe that women's empowerment movement should also be focused around men because they're the ones. I mean, if we only have women on board, then you're missing out on 50% of transformation. Like who? I mean, if I'm a woman, see, and then I end up having children, then who raises those boys who later become future men? Like if we have, unless men are on board with women's empowerment, unless we empower our men, like we're really missing out on that really huge chunk, of the pie.
That is true. That is true. I agree. And this is why I've always shown love to my parents. They raised, they gave birth to me, they raised me. I have my differences. I'm not about royals, donkeys, and elephants. You know that better than anybody else, my dear, in private. I've said this time and again on my show. I'm not about that nonsense. people division. I'm about bringing people together. And my father would always tell me, "Oh, you should go vote this, that, and the third." I'm like, "No, I'm not you in that sense. Not you in that sense." And reading your books, and it reminds me of how much of a rebel I've been from the beginning. I remember actually being a little kid, and I was supposed to go to bed, and I said, "No, I'm not going to bed." And then I got punched in my mouth for actually not doing what I'm told, or I got a beating. So yeah, it really showed me my life, and I am more of a rebel now than maybe I ever have been.
Wow. That's
I
probably the best. I just wanted to, because yeah, that's probably the best compliment I've ever received on the book. If it reminds people of who they really are at their core, who they've been, who they have always actually always been, not rebel. That's in the past tense. Because I suppose that once a rebel, always a rebel. This is the
yeah,
part of us that we can't really deny, because it's always been in us. Like it can never ever be taken away from us. It was also interesting that you mentioned that, because I do recall that my older sister, she actually said, well, as a child I was actually a rebel. It's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Because back then I didn't really feel like much of a rebel anymore. And sometimes we can really get fall out of touch with who we really are, like in our core. And I also believe that
mhm,
in my core, I am a rebel. And so are you.
yeah. Yes, I am. Yes, I am, and I own that proudly. Proudly. I'm happy I don't vote. I am happy I am for myself. I am happy that I am a three-time best-selling author. I am happy that I have actually done things that some people may have never have done in their lives and probably never will. I own that. Every single day I get on my knees in front of these plants that my mother has and I take it in, or I even say out loud, I am happy and grateful. I am happy and grateful. I am a three-time best-selling author. I do still work for Amazon, even though I feel like they're starting to do something that seems like propaganda to me right now. I'll talk to you about that in private. Um, what else do I say? I'm happy and grateful for the air I breathe, for the food in my stomach, for the drinks I drink, for the weight training I do at least twice a week, and so forth and so on. And for people like you, for Jan, for Blair Hayes, for so many others that I never thought I would be talking to, be in the same community with. I remember being type 2 diabetic and feeling as if I was going to die. If somebody was to tell me that within 2 years of October 31st, 2019, that I would be where I am right now, I would probably look at you and be like, Earth.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. If like someone a couple of years ago would tell me, "Oh, Sandra, in 5 years' time you'll be six times," not even like 5 years. It's not been 5 years. In 2 years' time you'll be like six times best-selling author. That will be laughed in your face. Because I was when I first applied to college, I was actually turned down. I was told that my English wasn't good enough. Then when I applied to university, again, I was told that, oh, we are really concerned about your level of English. And I was actually forced to take up critical writing classes that I actually
What?
absolutely detested.
Oh, wow. That is so me. I was taking critical writing classes and I was getting no credits when I
Wow.
was freshman in
Yeah,
college.
the funny story actually passed like at the top of the class, and I go like at A plus. Just me and my best friend, and we were both Polish. The rest of the group was English speaking. So I don't know how the hell you can do that.
Yeah, in the back
But
of your
that
mind
was
is,
a blessing in disguise. That was a blessing in disguise.
yeah, I could see you in the back of your mind. You were laughing, but you were saying, suck it. Sorry.
That's the way to go, exactly.
I beat you all. I beat you all. Sorry, you crazy hunt. I beat you all. That's what you were doing. I can see you right now.
Exactly. Who laughs last? Like he was
Yeah,
off.
exactly. Exactly. Yes, hon, yes. Yes, hon, yes. That is the truth. Oh man, oh man. All right. Ascension 2, beloved. You caught me by surprise, Polish Lip. Let me tell you.
Okay.
I didn't expect you in that book at all. I was
You
already
didn't.
I was expecting Jan, of course, because she was telling me some tidbits of her chapter. So I said, okay, she's definitely in. And then I started seeing the rest of the cast, and I said, ooh, this is cool. And then I found out about you. I said, oh my God, this is absolutely great beans. I really lost my junk. I said, oh, I actually read the book and I said, Polish love, you're here. My heart started racing and I started to melt. I said, oh, this is a great surprise. Jan, you kept the secret from me. You know how to do it
I
very well.
never probably kept a secret. That was never a secret. If it was a secret, it's unintentional. Maybe we just let the
That
yeah.
was a good thing. That was a good thing. I asked Blair Hayes. She knows how to keep secrets from me. And then when I find out, I am always geeking out. Oh man, oh man. So Polish Love, when I actually found out that you were in Ascension too, I said, yeah, this is gonna be really great. So I knew I had to
So
talk
that's the
about it.
selling point.
Yeah, this was the selling point. I said, ooh, she's actually the second to last chapter. And you're talking about kind of how you got together with Jen and everything. And kids, read her chapter. It's absolutely great. But my chapter kicks off the whole entire book. I said, ooh, this is a big honor. This is a big honor. Black Lions Roar 3, My Flowtastic Adventure, Part 1 kicks off Ascension 2. If somebody was that had told me when I actually was interviewing your original cast that I would be in Ascension 2, I would have said, Earth, come again? I really thought that I was going to be in Ascension 3 or 4 because of how I'm being paid and whatnot. But what do they say? Resilience has a little bit of persistence and you keep on going along with it. I said, you know what? I'm gonna get into. I'm gonna get into. I kept on writing it in the back of my mind. I'm gonna be an Ascension 2. I'm gonna be an Ascension 2. And then lo and behold, I was talking to Jen, and then it actually happened. So I was saying to myself, "Oh shit, I really am in this book now." I really am.
Yeah, that's the way to go. That's how it sometimes happens because it's like the when we persevere and was like focus our eyes on the prize and ignore everything else, just ignore all the whatnots and why all the bats and ifs and why we should not. That's actually how we can where we can achieve anything we set our minds to.
Did you actually want to write in an Ascension 2, or you just came along and said, "All right, last minute, I'll be in it"?
Yeah, so it was always part of the plan. Was always part of the plan for me to write in Ascension.
Oh wow, I'm surprised you really didn't do it in the first one. I know that you and Jan were partnered up, I believe, at that point.
No, I believe the first Ascension.
No,
I
that was
believe
all
that
Jan. That was all
by
Jan.
that point when I first joined, because I joined Ascension number two, Ascension number one, I believe that by that point I believe Janet has already was about to launch it when I
Yeah,
joined. Yeah.
yeah, I remember now. That was all Jan. I did not see your name like co-authored there. So you came along after that point. But again, I geeked out when I read your chapter. I did see the title of it and I said, oh, what she gotta say. And then you're just talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. And I had to promote our book even more. I said, yeah, it's time for me to go promote, 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 promote. And lo and behold, we became best-selling authors together. And when I saw that, I said, wow, it really happened. I got in the same book as Polish Love, and we became best-selling authors. That feels like something I wanted with the Honeykids, and
Wow.
I keep on saying it. You are the strongest woman on the planet that fits that mold. I've tried to look elsewhere, and then I released it. I said to the universe, I let it go. I let it go. I let it go. And then all of a sudden, the science started showing up, and I'm like, oh shit, this is the strongest incarnation of it, all the way located in Scotland. And then I remembered my dear friend MGB Graham, or Gramkins as I call him, and he was telling me about how he met his wife and everything in Black Lions Domain last year. I said, hmm, that's a very good story. That's very interesting. And I remember him finishing off with something along the lines of saying, you'll be amazed where you find love. Don't give
Did
up
you
on it.
did you see the post I did the other day? I
Yeah,
basically said one of my clients. I kept teasing her because I had a really funny relationship, me and her. So she's
yeah, the husbands.
also a turn friend, and she basically said I kept teasing her. You'll find the love of your life, your future husband, through your bestseller. And that's kind of meant it more as a joke. I didn't really, the things sometimes we say. And lo and behold, a few months down the line, she's seeing this guy who she feels like will become her future husband. And guess where they met? He
Bestseller.
read her book. He read her book and they met at a book signing event. Yeah, so whatever your friend said, we never really know where we are going to meet the one and only person. It could be for the book, it could be at the book signing event, it could be, I don't know, at the Black Lives Matter movement. We never
Oh,
know.
Jesus Christ. Thank God I didn't actually meet my someone through Black Lives Matter. Oof. Don't get me started with that. Oh man, oh man. I respect them to some degrees, but where are you when black on black happens? No way. No way. But yeah, I started noticing stronger signs around you, the synchronicities, the fact that you and I, we could talk for umpteen hours and then you be away from social media for like days, weeks, even a month. And I'm like, hmm, this feels funny. I'm not crying. I'm not sad. And it got stronger and it got stronger and it got stronger. And as I'm looking at you, I'm saying to myself, yeah, she feels like home to me. She feels right to me. And I remember telling somebody about you, and they're like almost looking sad because I said these words. I said, there's this beautiful woman that lives in Scotland. And if I have my way, I'm going to see her. And nothing's going to stop. That person is very known to be lonely. But I said, I've never been outside of America. I need to get out. I need to get out. And who better to be around than
So
you?
that's a really good excuse to have. We might end up organizing a book signing event in Edinburgh. Who knows? It's the city of best-selling authors like J.K. Rowling. She wrote her like the Harry Potter series in a little cafe at the like Elephant Cafe in the city center of Edinburgh. So that's a really great place for any first dates for anyone.
Yeah, and oh, I feel even more inspired to actually write Rebel Romance, my chapter now, because it feels like okay, I've said some things to her. I'm being honest with her, and I'm more free. I'm more open. I can't be this way with other people. I see myself. I've tried and they don't reciprocate. But for some odd reason, you, you actually are the most supportive person in my life that's feeling like me. That's matching this energy that I have. And you have the goals. You want to live in a world where we're not ruled, quote unquote, by donkeys, elephants, or royals. You want to keep your businesses going. You want to help people live their best lives. You bring out this fire in me, this thing that is so warm, so relaxing, so cozy, full of gas, full of gas. That goofy alternative series. And something is telling me I can't put my finger on it. And I'm not just saying it to blow smoke. No, no, no. I'm being serious with you right now. And I think you know I'm being serious right now. There's gonna be a way I get out to Scotland and see. I don't know how, but a way or more is following me. It's as the quote as I started off the show with would say, you move confidently in that dream, and things will come to you that you did not expect at all. And I'm not expecting things just like that. I'm still living my life, but as long as I'm talking to you, I'm happy, very happy. Love, are you working on any other books right now?
No, this is currently like I'm currently co-writing a book with Janet Brent. Yeah, so this is going to be our kind of solo book with the two of us. And that book, it's going to be unlike that book that you read about how to
Mm-hmm.
write a book in 90 days and didn't finish it. But the theme of the
Ooh,
book is going to be basically the same as how to birth a paradigm shifting book. And the second
yeah.
is called Legacy.
Oh, you've actually decided on a name. That is great beans. Legacy by Sandra Stachowicz and Janet Brent. I love it. And I support it fully. And all you kids out there, whenever it's released, please buy it. We need more people in the world to actually write, and become best-selling authors. Ah, I love it. I love it. I love being a best-selling author. I remember
It's
telling
really
you,
it feels really good. Yeah, it feels really good. Especially like the day you reach bestseller, it just feels like almost like dream come true. It's a very blissful state to be in.
yeah, I remember doing the very first one and I cried. I think I cried that one. That it
I
actually
cried
happened.
with my first book too.
Oh,
Yeah. I cried
oh,
as I was writing it, my first like co-authored book on the moment I reached. I believe that the first time you reach bestseller, that's like a complete game changer because you feel like really, it's a really state of like a state of bliss and just happiness and gratitude that just is indescribable. Because
oh
obviously the
yes.
more times any ever bestseller after that, I kind of even with my own book, and when I read bestseller, obviously that was my own books, is my own creations. I was still over the moon, but I feel like the first time I read bestseller was kind of felt the the most kind of cozy and nice and warm.
Oh man, I remember that feeling and it never leaves me. And to think that right now I have three, two with the Blair one with you and Jan. I couldn't have asked for a better start or foundation than that. I tried to do BLR solo, like the first one, and it wasn't clicking. But then I said, you know what, I release it, I release it, I release it. And then the right people came along and then it got published. And I will never ever forget February 16th for the rest of my life. And I cried happily because it was a dream and still is something that is indescribable. I go to work every single day and I have to remind myself at times because I actually do get these fits of rage. And anybody that knows me, I can't have that style of release. Release. So I say to myself, I'm a 3-time best-selling author. Even when I was a 1-time, I said, I'm a best-selling author. Nobody could take that away from me. But then I look at all the other workers around me and I say, oh my God, I'm really the only person in here that actually says that they actually have it. And my eyes are bulging. I say, wow, I'm all alone. And I remember talking to Blair in private. I said, I'm insulted. I'm,
Why?
I'm insulted that I'm a best-selling author, and then it eventually grew to 2 times, and then it grew to 3. And I said, I'm insulted. I actually have written these books. They're doing well. Why am I still working this absolute crap job? Why? Why am I still slaving myself away? And then as I'm really opening myself up emotionally, spiritually, and everything else, I'm saying to myself, oh, here we go. Oh God, I gotta change. Something's gotta change. I'm not happy here completely. I gotta get out. And I want to do it respectfully. I want to do it respectfully. But right now, I can see it why I haven't left yet. I have things I gotta pay. I have also something I think maybe on the way for me. I can't put my finger on it, but something huge is forthcoming, and they've kind of teased it at work. And I'm saying, okay, let's stay in the vibration. What if?
Are you allowed to say what it is? Is it top secret?
Oh, I don't mind talking about it real quick. All right, so they're actually blessing those that have been vaccinated with the sweepstakes. When I heard this, I said, "You're whoring the living shit out of this. You are whoring.
I couldn't have framed it better.
You're whoring the living hell out of this." And I'm saying to myself as I'm reading the prizes, "You gotta be kidding me here. You gotta be kidding me here." So I gotta possibly hold out until like maybe early to mid October to see if I won anything. Oh man, oh man, oh man. But I said, I don't want this. And I was talking to Jan one day. I said, you know what? I've been surrounded by ever increasing amounts of money. Like I'm finding lotto tickets on the floor. I'm finding opportunities to
Oh.
get online courses that would run about like $6,890 for $99 and everything else. I'm saying to myself, yeah, the universe is actually giving me more. And then I said, this, yeah, sure, Amazon's whoring the living hell out of the vaccines. I already got mine. Is this the universe's way of saying, keep your eyes out? You may be shocked by what you possibly doing. I said, here's a chance for me to possibly win money. make more by way of a sweepstakes than I've ever did in 40 hours a week. And I always keep myself in that vibration now that what if I win? What if I win? What could I do with $100,000? What could I do with 5,000, $500,000? And I kept on listing the ways. And number one, the main one that I want to do, should I truly be blessed with any style of money, like between those two, my parents are getting out of this godforsaken house and they're going on vacation. My parents are going somewhere. I don't know where, and I don't care as long as they're happy and they're safe. I want my parents to go on vacation because they've been cooped up in this house way too long, way too long. So I'm keeping hope alive that I want something. And who knows? Maybe, just maybe, that
Like you
will.
said early on, to grab that opportunity, just hold it.
Yeah,
Hold
I'm
on.
holding that sucker. I'm holding. Yeah, sure. I said it to other people. I said, Amazon is whoring this thing, but you know what? I see it as an opportunity.
I used to work for Amazon. I didn't have the best experience. Customer service, great. As an employee, yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing that made me more closer to you. I was reading Leap Afraid, and you were talking about doing something that you didn't ever want to do again. And I said to myself, I never want to work in retail. I never ever want to work in retail ever again. After actually having my last job, which I think was now maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm working the job and I'm saying to myself, you know what? I'm too good for this. I'm too good for this. And then the coronavirus epidemic hits. I lose my office job. And then I said, I can hear these three voices in my head. Not even a full-fledged week. I'm hearing these voices. My dad, my surrogate dad, and a woman that worked for said nursing home. I said, all right, I got the will. I got the power. Let's try and make something happen. I don't care where I am. I'm willing to put my pride aside to make some money. So I said, I'm willing to even go back to retail. I know I said I never wanted to, but I need something coming in. And lo and behold, I got two jobs within a span of 2 months after I got fired.
Were they above retail jobs?
Oh, yes. The first one was working for a supermarket as a cart pusher or maintenance person. And then, not even a full fledged month after that, I actually got my job with Amazon. And I said, oh, wow. After talking to a certain somebody that doesn't see eye to eye with me anymore because of differences that we had throughout the years. And every single time I actually do say these words, I say, you know what, for all my pain, all my blood, all my sweat, all my tears, I'm happy and grateful I have worked for him because I cannot see my life in any sense without it. I really can't. I wouldn't have paid for They Are Magic. I would have not paid for Letters of Magic. I would have not paid for Ascension II. Oh, speaking of which, you and Janet are supposed to receive the first half of my final payment today. I will do it exactly after I get off this call with you. Um, all right. And all this other stuff that I'm pursuing, even my fourth, which is coming out in October. Get ready, kids. Promote, 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 promote. Letters of Love
You're
2
on
is,
fire. So I have your fourth book coming out.
yeah. And believe it or not, Sam, I'm going to be almost in your lane, beloved. You say that you're 6 times best-selling author. Before the end of the year, I could be of
You know
six.
I'm not in the competition with you. You do know that.
I'm actually,
Like I'm not here to chase trophies. I'm here to make
I
impact.
know, I know. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. I'm not looking for competition. I'd rather be your
I am
teammate.
a competitive person, but only compete, when it's
I ra-
worth
I
it.
rather be your teammate. I'd rather be your teammate, hun, to be honest, than have you as an enemy. Yes, I do. Yeah, so I have Letters of Love coming out in October. Our dear friend David Vine from Ascension 1 and They Are Magic. His book, I think it's Co-Igniting Your Dreams or something like that. He's his book is coming out some point in December, and uh what is this thing? Magical Miracles, the final book in the Blair Hayes Publishing Magic series, comes out some point in December too.
Wow, you're on fire.
Yeah, somebody was saying that to me before. I think that was my business partner, Mayoko. She was like, "You are on fire, don't you know that?" I said, "Yeah." Somebody actually did
You've
say
been
this.
told.
I've been
Like
told.
stating the obvious.
Yeah, I've been told that. I think Jan told me this. My surrogate dad told me this. My surrogate brother told me this. Who else has told me? Other people in the writing community. They're like, dude, how did you actually amass all those books? I said, writing's my passion. Outside of my podcast, outside of wanting to be a coach, writing is who I am. I've always made this reference, and you may get a laugh out of this. You may actually like it. I say that I'm like a lesser known Michael Jackson. I've always been quoting the Jacksons of the American Dream miniseries, if that is to be believed completely, because I understand that biopics or miniseries can be amped up for our dear friends in Hollywood. So I remember some scenes with the adult version of Michael Jackson. And when he was about 18, he was talking to his mother and he said these words: I'm filled up with music. That's all I ever knew in my life was music. Music is in me.
Like filled up with words,
Yeah,
not
I'm
just
filled
music.
up with words. I'm filled with Black Lines Roar. That's what I'm full of. That's my life. That's my life. Ever since I was small, even when I was small, I think I was a writer. I was scribbling. I was always doing something with pencil or paper. And they say that
Exactly the same just reminds me of my childhood. I was very crafty, kind of nerdy child. Spending time with her creative cave, writing and just scribbling down, writing fiction stories.
uh, I think I was trying to journal. I loved the American TV show on Nickelodeon called Doug. And he would always start off the episode, I think, writing in his journal, actually saying, "Dear journal," or he would finish it off that way. And Doogie Howser, MD, I remember Doogie Howser actually typing on his computer like a journal log. Oh, this is what I did today at work. This is what I did with my best friend and my girlfriend, and and that never left.
Oh wow, that's such a cool activity to share with
Yeah,
somebody else.
I actually noticed myself. I said, "Oh God, I'm like a whole bunch of people I wanted to be like," and writing has shown me it. I remember Linda Carducci. All right, before we really wrap this bad boy up, because I know it's almost getting make late. And thanks for having dinner with me. I appreciate it. All right, so Linda Carducci actually pulled me aside, and she was saying to me, "Yo, you've been very busy lately," and I was. I was doing this. I was doing writing for Blair and everything else under the sun. And I said to myself, oh God, I've become like Michael Jackson. I really am busy. I remember him saying to Barry Gordy in that movie that I was talking about, I've done too much TV. I've done,
That's one way of putting it.
I've done too much TV. I've said, I've done too much writing. I've done too much on.
There's no, come on, there's no such thing as too much rating or too much of
I
it.
know, I know. I'm just trying to be cute. I'm just trying to be cute. So I'm just writing and writing and writing and writing and writing away. And then the likes of you started coming along, and I didn't feel guilty anymore that I was busy. And I've had a relationship with somebody that unexpectedly came into my life. I didn't expect it. And you, I keep on saying this, are the strongest thing I've called Zachary Shiloh's Huntingtons. I am not ashamed. I believe I even told my mentor, Michelle, I said, I think I found the Huntingtons or a strong candidate. And she's a co-author with me in a book. She always supports me. She doesn't tell me that my dreams are far-fetched. She laughs at me, yes, but she knows that
It's kind of
I
like
have,
a goofy alternative kind of way.
yeah, gas. We're full of gas, kids. And speaking of full of gas, it's time to hit the road. All right, hon, before we actually hit the stop button, your hopes for the future, my love, are.
Yeah. So I feel like my hopes for the future are like I'm kind of like short term. I think short term there's a rebel romance. I want it to be the most pleasurable, fun, creative experience. I want it to be to be the embodiment of joy,
Mhm.
pleasure, and creativity. And I also wanted to help people awaken that child within.
Uh, all right. Before I move on to the
That
next,
playfulness, that we are all children. I want people to read rebel romance, and I want them to feel connect with pleasure, to really get playful and really let their inner child out. I feel that's my that's my main goal, short-term goal for now.
mm, mm, I'm even more in the flow state, beloved. Oh man, you said the words. Let your inner child out, and guess what? Hi, hi. I'm getting mine out. He's actually locked into your inner child, and they're playing right now. He's like,
Oh, I
hi.
love children.
Uh, oh man, I can feel it. I can see it. I'm a little me, you're a little you, and we're playing on a playground right now. Getting ready to wrap this bad boy up. All right. With that said, if I cannot bother you right now, within the next week to a month, beloved, can I have about 3 people you believe would actually go well with me in this loving, warm, relaxing, and cozy environment? Sandy kids.
Yes, I can most certainly get like 3 people lined up.
All right. And here's the last. What can I do for you, potential honeykins, going forward?
The best you can do, well, the best anything can do for me, is just to let their inner child out.
Ah, yes.
Let us all be playful.
Oh, oh, that is great beans. That is great beans. Woo! Be an inner child. Uh, I have nothing else to say. But all right, we will actually leave all her links and whatnot in the googly goo, as my dear friend from Japan who doesn't speak a lick of Japanese would say. This was absolutely fun. I'm bringing you back before the year's up, or when Rebel Romance is truly ready.
I'm well up for it.
Oh, definitely. All right. One goal, one aim, one road, one focus. You beautiful Hunskins and loves out there. Even if it sounds like I'm venting, I have what they call passion. I'm passionate about you out there, kids out there. All we need is love, and we don't need no donkeys. We don't need no elephants, and we damn sure don't need no royals. We are all royal in our own rights. Let's love each other. Let's take care of each other. That's the bottom line, because Zachary Shiloh Watts says so. Thank you all. I bow to you in respect, especially to potential honeykins over here. I bow to you even more, beloved, and I will talk to you soon. I love you all. We're out of here. Bye.
Bye, everyone.